back to another FOO-OLOGY podcast. We're out here. We have a special guest in the building on the screen.
Special guest.
Special guest, Kiyahuitl. Chill ass dude. We had part one. You know, we talked about some good ass, real ass shit.
The real shit,
And
bro.
you know, people be always hating on everything, fool, but it's all good.
For sure.
These fools be hating on everything. It's all fun and games though, but we don't give a fuck, bro. You know. But
That's a fact.
Whoa. Yeah, how you been, bro?
Better, you know. I think I'm in a better state from definitely from the last time, you know, that we had that interaction. Just been working on this motorcycle. I think I talked about that motorcycle before I got it. Now I have it. So I've been like messing with that, you know.
You almost done with it?
Nah, bro. So I'm rebuilding the motorcycle from the ground up, you know, kind of like, you know, took out a lot of the parts that I thought that was just like sloppy, you know. So I'm just kind of making it to my liking, pretty much.
Damn, that's like Legos,
You know,
huh?
based on my low income, dog. So you know what I mean. Like, if I had the money, I would have been making, you know, probably would have bought a fucking nice ass bike. But
yeah,
since I don't, I'm making my own shit. And
hey, but
and
you know
it'll
what?
take some time.
It's gonna mean more to you, bro, because you build it with your own shit. You know, instead of just having the money and just being like, man, I could afford any motorcycle, and it doesn't really mean much. But when you put your hands and you put the parts together, it's more of a meaning, bro. You know,
I'm definitely get to know the motorcycle a lot more. You know, having my hands onto it and just disassembling, and just the whole process, right? Reassemble and disassemble and all that. So,
bro,
Where'd you get that bike? Like, how'd you choose that one, or how'd it come into your hands?
oh my carnal, my brother, he's a electrician, and I guess he was at a job site, and then I don't know where exactly, but the job site he was at, there was the bike was there, you know. The Harley Davidson was right there, neglected, abandoned, y todo. And it's ironic because, like, at that time, I told my carnal, I was like, hey, fool, you know, keep an eye out for, you know, motocicleta. You know, I just kind of buy one, you know. And that fool was like, what about this? It was all fucked up, you know. I was like, perfect. I was all perfect, you know. This is like therapy to me, you know. Fuck, mess around with something like that.
Damn.
So it's just how it just turned out, right?
Yeah. So have you had like experience with like building motorcycles in the past, bro, or is it something new that you
Nah,
just start?
it's all new. It's all new. Like, to me, I've always had the capability to disassemble and reassemble, or just anything with my hands, right? You know, like I made my own computer. The computer that I'm using right now is I made my own shit, bro.
That's crazy.
So like I have always had that natural talent, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty badass, bro.
yeah, I don't know. You give me a manual, dude. That's where I don't shine. You know, you give me something to read. I'm like, I'd rather just trials and errors and experience it on my own, rather than just like have a book telling me some shit.
Yeah, I'm not really good with the instructions too. Like, you know, they have the instructions. I just like looking at how it looks, you know, the photo, and then I just go by that, and that's how I start building up, bro.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's true. It's hard.
You know what's crazy about that? I think I'm not really. I've noticed that a lot of people of indigenous heritage have that. Have that trait.
That hands-on skill type of trait.
Yeah, type shit. Yeah.
Damn.
Like,
it's in the blood, huh?
It's because you gotta understand, bro. It's our ancestors didn't use letters like how we use today, right? And a lot of it was pictograph. A lot of it was pictographs. Pictograph you have to see.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. So it's like it's like your natural instinct. You know what I mean? Like that's how our people were built to do this shit.
Yeah, I think it's like cooking too, bro. Like when I see like these YouTube videos of like people cooking like a steak or whatever, like for some reason I'm just probably gifted as well too. I just know the right amount of salt and butter or whatever topping I put on, you know, or spices. I know the right amount, and maybe it's
just the genetics.
The genetics.
Well, that's what they say. Mexicans are like the best cooks in the in every restaurant, the high end restaurants, all that shit. Like it's all Mexicans working in the back or Raza in the back, and they're all cooking up all this kind of different types of flavors, like Japanese food, Italian food, the 5-star fucking cuisine. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, and they never write down the recipes either. They're always just like,
they're not they're natural cookers, dude. The ones that don't follow the measurements, I rather
yeah.
rather
You
go with
ask them
that,
how to
dog.
make it, they're like, well, I gotta show you. Like I'm not gonna write it down.
Yeah.
Which is what, like,
This
my
isn't-
aunts, like, when you ask them, like, oh, how do you make your ceviche? How do you make your this? They're like, well, I gotta kind of teach you in person, because if you write it down, it's
I
not
gotta show you.
It's not the same flavors. It's not the same vibe to it. You know.
It reminds me of like
Yeah,
that witch pot where you just fucking throw shit in and they're like, this is gonna create
This is
this.
enough.
Yeah.
This is enough right here.
Yeah.
But that's sick. How's the motorcycle going for you right now, bro?
It's cool. I'm painting the whole engine. Like I dismantled the engine and now putting it back. Put all the pistons back. Everything, just it's getting there.
That's badass, bro. Because I did a 2 days ago or yesterday. Fuck, it seems like it was 3 weeks ago. But time goes by so quick. But
Yeah.
I went to it was like Reading, like on the borderline of Oregon. Yesterday, I drove all this shit. I want to go see this badass waterfall I posted on my IG, and I always love
What the fuck? You went to Oregon, dog?
no, it was California, but it was
Border?
like 2 hours away from Oregon, basically. I drove all the way up.
Road trip shit.
Yeah,
Why
road
the fuck
trip shit.
why the fuck you ain't swing by?
Yeah, and bro, what is it? You're in Santa Cruz? If
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Damn, bro.
You used the 101 to go up north. I know you did.
Yeah. No, I did, and then I was gonna check some other. I did like a couple little hiking trips, and
little
I was
detour?
driving down. I was driving down PCH right there on Santa Cruz, and then it took me off PCH. So
Yeah, that
I was-
PCH is pretty dope, dog. It's a
Yeah,
nice-
bro. And I seen all these
Bonito,
fools
eh?
with motorcycles, and I'm just like, fuck, that looks so chill, man. That it feels like freedom right there, bro. Like there isn't too many cars. Obviously, it's a Sunday, and then I was just like, the wind passing you by, and then, bro,
Yeah,
like
exactly, bro.
I seen so many like farms, like
Yeah.
big as hell, bro. Like, and there's just one tree in the middle. It's like it was like maybe like 4 football fields, bro, all field. And I felt like basically like it was Africa, bro. You see all the
planes. and
plane.
everything,
Yeah. I was like, man, I could just imagine a dog running like freely.
A
like,
horse.
A horse. Yeah, a horse. The horses were there too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like getting on a horse, bro, and like beautiful ass horses too, man. I was like, made me want to feel like I want to be like a farmer or some shit, bro. Like I like that lifestyle, bro. It felt like you were free. You're alive,
Yeah.
So I went to this badass waterfall, bro. And I ain't gonna kill it for everybody, but if you want to know, I'll let you know, bro.
DM me.
Yeah, but it was probably like a 8-hour drive or 10-hour drive to get there, and it was not too many people. There was low key, really easy hike. But
Yeah.
man, what I do every time I see anything I could jump off, I just jump off into the water, bro. Like I took my
Oh shit!
snorkeling-
So you te metiste en la agua? Pues?
No,
You
I
went in the
did, bro.
water.
Yeah, fresh ass water, bro. It was pretty cold, but it was hot, so it was like perfect.
Perfect mixture.
Yeah, I took my shoes off. I went inside the water. I had my snorkeling gear, so I was just like looking under the water, so clear, little fishes there, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
and I go under, and I like the waterfall's like coming down, and I just look up, and I'm like, man, this is crazy beautiful, bro. That shit was.
You went on
so
your own,
sick.
or you went with like a partner or some shit?
Went with the girl.
Yeah, I went with some chick. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I also posted like this funny ass photo, bro.
What was it?
It looks kind of real, but
Oh yeah. No. He posted an AI photo on the waterfall. He posted with like 6, almost like
Yeah. Hey, did you
girls.
get any?
Yeah.
Did you get any like backlash
Actually-
just because you used AI?
Nah.
Yeah.
No, bro. The first time I used the AI on ChatGPT or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only used it once like that, and then I just posted the photo for. Oh, you used the AI? They were just shaming me, dog. Like,
Oh, you talked about it in the
all
last
kinds of
podcast, no?
shit. I was like, what the fuck? I don't really
Yeah.
use it. Like, but then again, we're all kind of using it already, bro. Because every time you go on your Google or any website, they have some type of connection to AI.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody using it, regardless of whether you say you're not. Your phone is using it.
And
Everything, you know.
Yeah, that's a scary part too, bro, because it looks so real. I'm just like, damn, people could start like these politicians and all this shit. They could start doing like some crazy ass shit with
Yeah,
this
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
People,
yeah.
you know?
But it's true. It goes back to that. I think it reminds me a little bit back in the day. I forget if it was 2016 or 2018 where there was that cancel culture shit when it went like really hard, where you can't like people were trying to be so perfect, and any little thing like they would get fucking canceled, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why it's like some of the super crazy activist person they it's kind of doesn't make any sense, because at a certain point in time, like just being alive in the United States, we're all kind of part of we have to partake in some kind of bad thing, like even the phones in our pockets, something has to do with something bad, you know. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
we
yeah.
can't ever escape it. So I feel like there has to be a point where it has to be kind of reasonable amount of like, we're just alive, we just got to use what we have, you know. You got to use the tools
No,
at your
I see your
disposal.
point. I see your point. Like even using plastic, dog. Like we know
Yeah,
what
it's like we're
that it
fucking
does
up
to the
somehow.
environment. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
rubber. You know what I mean? Like all that
Exactly.
shit. That's daily use right there. You know what I mean? Like that everybody's using that. If you're complaining about this, like why not about that? If you're
Yeah,
worried
but
about the water, I don't know if you're aware, bro, but to keep livestock alive, they have to drink water, and they drink a lot of water in comparison to AI usage of water.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
there you go.
It's
crazy
the
as
same
hell.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're bitching. I mean, I get it. You know, and water is very valuable to us because, like, our planet doesn't necessarily produce water.
Shit.
So
Yeah.
water it's definitely a special thing for us, you know. But
Yeah.
I think most people don't know that our planet doesn't produce water.
That's
Damn.
crazy.
I thought it did, bro.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm like
I'm serious. You look into that shit. Look into that shit.
That's
It
crazy.
does not produce
Maybe
water.
you're right.
What do you maybe this could be $1 billion plan, bro? Like the ocean water, they can make it into a fucking like drinking water. You think that's possible or not?
They tried that, but I don't know how it works. I know Israel does something like that. Right?
I mean, I'm not a fucking scientific person like
Yeah.
that, but from what I've heard, I think it is possible because I think if I'm not mistaken, Santa Barbara used to own a pure like filter water filter
purifier
from the ocean,
Oh,
and they would filterize it
desalinating,
to
some
be able
shit
to
like
drink
that.
water, right? But
Yeah.
the crazy shit about it is that they sold that facility to Japan, and then they transported it to Japan.
What the fuck?
So
Of
we don't have that
course.
technology in my city anymore. But yeah, it's been a real thing, dog. It's just I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why things are the. I mean, I guess the labor of packaging things
Yeah.
to be able to buy water or some shit like that. That's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably not profitable yet, and or else these billionaires would have already stepped on that shit, man. You know?
Oh, the water shit.
Yeah, the water.
Well, that's
making
like the next thing. They all buying the rights for water or some shit. Like Bill Gates and all these guys. They have
How
a
the
shitload
fuck
of
you gonna
water.
buy something that's already been there? Like,
That's the crazy shit. You know,
It's like there's videos, bro. They fucking sell us apples that were free here, and they sell us water. They sell us all this shit, but people the people are still cool with it, bro. Like,
have you seen
I'm
that
not
one
gonna fight over this shit.
space god, the thug? He's a fucking alien. He's a I think he's a comedian and from Atlanta, bro. This fool wears an alien costume, and he talks like a black guy from Atlanta, basically, right? That fool's just funny, man. And that fool's like, how the fuck they got you paying how the fuck you guys in debt? Like who y'all in debt to? This was an alien, right? That was funny as fuck. He's like, you're gonna make a penguin pay for a fish? It's like, who the fuck you guys paid?
Yeah.
But that's a funny ass clip.
The difference is like I know that a lot of the things are there, right? You know, apples, produce. You know, if you go hunting, you get it, but you got to do something to get it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
But unfortunately, you know, they set up the laws that we're unable to do that. So
you need a fishing license. You need all these licenses.
You need all kinds of shit, you know? So we can't necessarily go out there and go get what we want. Even though some of us have the capability to do so, right?
Ooh.
And it kind of goes back to that whole cancel shit. You know what I mean? Like you go
Yeah.
hunting and you're like, oh man, I just killed a big ass moose, and you want to like, I don't know, take a photo with it or some shit. You're gonna get shamed for killing an animal.
Yep.
Like it just you can never, you can't make the whole world happy, bro. You know?
Exactly.
And also too, it's like you're never gonna be satisfied. And we talked about it, a few podcasts. Like, say you have money, bro. Say you're rich, then you're looking for a woman, a girl, whatever, and then you say like you have money, and then you're thinking in your head, man, well, this is what I would be thinking. I'd be like, man, this girl just hanging out with me because I got money. And then if you don't have money, you're still like thinking like, man, I could get a better chick, but I don't know if she likes me for who I am, and you're never gonna be fucking satisfied, bro. That's
There's always gonna be a problem.
the joke. There's always gonna be fucking bullshit in life, bro. And I think the like meditation and being humble, number one, being humble, being yourself is what keeps you grounded for sure. Like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have respect for people, and
Yeah.
I think that's number one thing. I think for girls, like my number one like I get attracted to is obviously their personality and them being humble, bro. Because when they're humble, man, I think that's just like they were raised right to me, bro.
They were raised right.
They're raised right, bro.
That's
But
a fact.
No, it's. I think you know what it is. Yeah, you feel that way, bro, because it's like it's familiar to you. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
your experience,
yeah,
and then you would want for somebody, because I think to yourself, you consider yourself a good person, right?
yeah,
Regardless of all the struggles and turbulences that you might have gone through, all the hurt that you might have experienced. Like you
yeah,
ultimately self consider yourself a good person, because I do. I consider myself a good person, regardless of how many people I might have offended, many people I've inspired, how many people I've, all this shit. Like ultimately, I consider myself a good human being.
Mhm.
I try to treat people always how I would like to be treated, regardless of what kind of individual they are. Whether I dislike them or not. I kind of give them that benefit of the doubt. Just trying to look the human in people.
yeah,
And
That's a good point.
that's just how I conduct myself, and it's obviously based on my experience that led me to believe in that manner, right? So, yeah,
yeah.
when I look for a woman, or a woman finds me, like personality is the major thing for me. Like intellectual, being like how smart she is and all that, like the depth of how much of a conversation we can have, and just
Vibes.
genuine, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Compassionate. She has a capability of empathy and all that. Like, all that shit matters to me. And of course, I would like to be, to some extent, physically attracted to my partner, because that's what gets you first, right? Like, just the physical attraction, whether it's a major one, that would be crazy. But, you know what I mean?
I'm talking about
You know,
a thick.
Yeah.
Thick.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
But it's
you
true.
know?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
So,
But
like,
yeah, like
physical attraction is like one of the first things, bro. And
yeah,
then
for damn
when
sure.
once you get the opportunity to meet the woman that you're attracted to, was, that obviously depends on personality, on who she is, and what she stands for, morals, morality, and all that. Like, and it's been getting crazy, dog. Lately, I
Yeah,
think the dating pool is like nutty,
Yeah,
but
it's
yeah,
Wild West out here, bro.
yeah. It's like at the same time, like going back on being yourself and people judging you, bro. At this time and age in my life, bro, I know there's like this good bar on this in a song, bro. Jesus Christ never lied, but he still got crucified. And if that happened to God, bro, what are we, man? If you believe in all that stuff, it's like the most perfect man, quote unquote, still got crucified. The perfect person, right? Or entity, or whatever you want to call it, or
yeah,
him. And who are we to be like, we're nothing better than that, like,
Yeah.
So it's like, um,
Even just a lesson from that. I think that even whether it happened or it didn't happen, just the fact that that story like is so popular around the world, Like
Mm-hmm.
that tells you about the nature of the world a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
you could be
yeah, of
the
course.
this
Like
nice
it's like you
good
can have
guy.
you can have all the things in the world, but like how you guys stated earlier, like it's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
things are never enough, or like there's always doubtfulness within amongst ourselves. I think those are good signs to some extent because it shows you that you're like a multi emotional person and not
Mm,
just anger and arrogance and my it's my way or the highway type
mm.
mentality. Like that's why I'm not really a fan of like, oh, I'm a fucking boss person, like, mentality.
Yeah.
Like, like if your shit don't stink, like type shit. I'm not a fan of that, bro. Cause like
Yeah,
I
for
said
sure.
earlier, like I try to look for the human side of people, and honestly, there's not a lot of people like that, dog. We all humans, but
Yeah.
what I mean by humanity, like I try to see, your heart,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
heart you
yeah.
have,
Yeah,
you know.
like I know someone is in the right state of mind when someone is like arguing, at you, like someone's yelling at you, they're trying to threaten you, or and they're saying this and that, and you just brush it off, like your shoulders is like, man, I'm out of here, like you're the bigger man. But you know what? Like wrestling and fighting and Muay Thai and all the shit I've been doing my whole life, it taught me basically, man, people could talk shit. It's not gonna hurt me unless they attack me. That's something different. Then I'm a
Yeah,
fucking
physical attack is
yeah.
just
They're gonna see what's up, bro. But and in the past, I had a few fights. Like, who doesn't, bro?
yeah,
And but I just now when you get wiser and older, and you're like, man, they could say all, you could go for this team. You could tell me shit. I don't really care. I'll just walk away. I'm just like, man, in
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
mind, I could just be like, man, I know like what I could do to you. I'm like, I'm not messing with you, bro. It's
You know what's
literally,
Yeah.
bro,
crazy,
straight
dog?
up.
Like you said, being a bigger person sometimes, bro. Like for me, I feel like I've always got to be that bigger person. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking bigger person. Like, you know what
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
give it to this motherfucker. Like,
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah,
I don't know if that happens to y'all, but it definitely sometimes it happens to me because it's like, damn, I always got to do, I guess what is the right thing at all times. But I don't know, dog.
It's
I don't know
true. I
when.
mean, that kind of vibe though, it also does make it's like it makes you pent up sometimes, and then that wants to find expression. If you don't, you have to find healthy ways to express yourself too. Because sometimes, if you always hold it in, then I think you're sometimes we do ourselves a disservice by not expressing ourselves. But it's also like a middle ground. It's like an elegant dance because if you if you're too reactionary, I feel like people can control you very easily. If you're
Yeah.
too just reacting to any little thing, there's certain people that they grow up around certain guys that they think that that's the way to be. Like they just react, and these guys usually end up in prison
yeah.
because that's the type of people that get caught up like that. They'll. It's
Yeah,
not.
no, you're correct.
It's
Hot
not. It's
tempered.
not
And I know
logical.
because like firsthand experience,
Yeah, it's not
'cause I was
logical at
I
all.
was a I was a cholo growing up, and that's something that I noticed that I was a quick fuse, bro. I was a
Hmm.
very angry kid,
Mm.
and like it just took somebody could just whisper in my ear, like, "Hey, that fool's talking masa about you." I beat up a couple people just because somebody told me that fool's talking masa, and then come to find out that the person wasn't even talking about me, dog.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
how easily manipulative
Ooh.
I was when I was a youngster, a kid, a
Yeah.
baby, so to say. And as I got older, obviously, I started to like notice about all that shit, and I was like, "What the fuck? I ain't no one's fool no more, dog. Like, fuck that." And
Exactly.
I kind of made it into my that experience. Kind of made me go to a point like, well, I'm not gonna allow anybody like to manipulate me anymore, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it's yeah, I don't. That was my
Yeah.
experience, bro. But I get what you're saying, though. Being a quick
Yeah.
fuse is like usually the ones that get you and incarcerated.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and like you said, you need to like obviously you need to take that anger out, and I think that's why that Muay Thai shit, that wrestling and all that, it's perfect balance for that, because that's where you leave all the emotions on the bag, or sparring lessons, or the partner you're wrestling, you leave all that in the table, bro, and it humbles you too, because you always think that you're the best, but there's sometimes there's always someone better than you, and then
Of
that
course.
fool is gonna put you in your place, So I'm just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
straight up, like I was at like this good fucking King's MMA right here in Anaheim, and there's a lot of UFC fighters, like professional UFC fighters that fight in that um that that fucking
They train there.
yeah, they train there basically. And then
Yeah,
I
but
was
those
like,
people, bro, like you, the difference from you and that person, or the person that's doing like that's who you consider to be better, I suppose. Uh, the difference is that you're trying to have a life, bro. You're over here telling that you went travel 8 hours, 10 hours to go to see a fucking
yeah,
waterfall,
yeah,
and that's just you're trying to live life. And
yeah,
the other people, bro, since they don't necessarily have a life, they focus or fixate into their training or their methods or techniques or whatnot,
mm,
and that's what makes them better because of how much time they
mm,
invested into their craft. And this sounds like you're just doing it as like a manner of health and like health
yeah,
journey, so to say.
Well-being.
It's not like you're trying to go out to be a professional fighter. You probably
yeah,
can. I
yeah,
don't know. You're 30. What? You're 37. You said last
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, maybe
I
some
mean,
amateur shit, but
yeah, no, but yeah, but
This has
Mexico,
like
I
a
mean, like I don't know. The other
in
people,
Mexico. Okay, go
yeah.
to Mexico, fight in
Oh,
Mexico.
Mexico. Nah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I still have it in me, but obviously, you're right. I'm not fucking
It's not
gonna be a
your
professional and
professional
shit,
shit.
bro.
It's
Like,
just like
I
mental
could,
shit. You
yeah,
said for
I
the
could
mind.
have, when I was younger and stuff, but I was like,
yeah,
man,
of course.
I had like a couple of those stupid backyard fights, and some guy deleted it off YouTube.
Oh
I
yeah,
used
you
to,
had them.
yeah. I think, yeah, he deleted it for sure.
I
I
would
might
have
have.
loved to see that shit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Like, yeah. Man, I'll probably reach out to him and see if he could put it back.
I think you had them. Yeah, I think I seen them before.
Yeah. I fought like a guy that was like 6'4", 170 pounds, and I was a senior in high school, and I was
How old were you? I mean,
like
how
18,
your height?
like 5'6". I was at the time 5'6". I'm 5'7" and maybe and a half, 5'7".
Yeah.
But yeah, and
In my
the guy
height,
was
yeah.
yeah, the guy was just like, oh, like I'm trying to get like a some videos of like, how back then that was really fucking popular. These fools
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
The little
yeah, yeah.
backyard
all
fight
that,
shit.
all that shit, bro. But yeah, I did that, and then I ended up tying with this dude, and then I
Oh, you had a
fought some
draw?
guy. Was that a draw with that guy? Yeah, and then I fought some guy that was actually my weight, and man, it didn't go
Obliterated
good.
him?
It didn't go good for that fool, bro.
Eesh.
But yeah, but anyways, yeah, it's all like funny games and stuff. But yeah, I am definitely trying to live, bro. I love nature, and I like seeing new things, and
Yeah, you
it
trying to
makes me
enjoy
feel
life,
alive.
bro. To some
That's
people, it
true.
would be like, damn, this fool drove this amount of time just to go see a fucking waterfall. It's not like
Just to
Yeah,
go
those are the
check out
people that are not.
yeah,
Those are the
yeah,
people that are not appreciative about the little things. That
yeah.
make life beautiful. You
Big
know,
time, bro.
and if you're unable to appreciate little things like that, then fuck, dog, I don't even know what kind of life you're living. Because to me, that's a value. That's valuable, bro. To be able to
Yeah.
be appreciative about the simplest things in life.
Exactly.
Spending time with your family, even having a barbecue with some your closest friends. Could be just like 3 people or even more. I don't know how
There you
your
go.
ring circle is.
Yeah,
And
No,
those
yeah,
little
definitely.
things are more better,
big
and
time.
how you said earlier about women being your partner being humble, like te llama la atención, is because like to me it's more of like if I'm able to have the simplest shit with a woman that I'm interested in, she was able to appreciate it. That's a plus for me, dog. Like you know what I mean? Like fuck, like I'd rather do some simple stuff than be all like lavish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
straight
that's just
up.
me though. That's me.
Yeah,
People live however they choose to live. I just
yeah,
see more value in the simplest things. You know?
yeah.
Hmm.
Big
Yeah, it
time.
makes sense. It makes sense.
It means more to us, and that's just us too. Like you said, people are obviously everybody's different, and people rather just be working 9 to 5s and they buy fucking Louis Vuitton, Gucci shoes, and they just like being that like that luxurious lifestyle. And for me, I'm like, I never liked that shit, bro. I could
Yeah.
say never because when I was younger, obviously, you hear stupid like
Well, it's because you know what it is, bro. It's because you grew up without it, dog.
mm,
Like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure you'll be appreciative if somebody gave you some shit like that, right? A very
course.
decent,
Yeah, of
expensive
course.
tip, right?
Yeah.
But you in your own life experience, and including myself, like we lived without this shit, you know. So we know
Mhm.
we could be happy without fucking Gucci glasses or whatever the fuck, you know, or Louis Vuitton and all those Italian brands or whatnot. Like we don't need that shit. Like just
Yeah,
give me a
yeah.
white T-shirt or a fucking something, dude.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
like you make your shit look good and not not your stuff making you look good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeesh.
you know, like
That's good. That's good. That's a fact.
I used to be embarrassed to wear glasses, fool. Now I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
What
Give me
age
the
did you start
Stevie
wearing them,
Urkel
bro?
glasses, doggy, and I'll rock them shits. You
Those
know,
are
like
the
it's
Malcolm
just
X ones right there, bro. You got the
hell
Malcolm
yeah.
X glasses.
Yeah.
What age
So
did
you
you
know what
get
I
them,
mean?
bro?
Like
High school?
it's just you make your shit, dog. You know, you rock what you got, and you know you don't need none of those lavish shit. You know, I mean, you'll be I mean, of course, it's cool to spoil yourself once in a while or whatnot, but you know you can live without it.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
it's why it's
Yeah.
like, kind of
That's
value does
true.
it have, really?
Yeah. That's for sure, man.
Damn, you said you were embarrassed about wearing glasses, bro. At what age did you feel that like embarrassment? Was it like a school age, high school age,
Nah, I was probably like middle school, dog.
middle school? Damn.
That's cool.
Yeah, I never
You know,
really
because
thought
I was
about
a
that shit.
cholo, fool. You know, I was a cholo, dog. You know, like
You're
that.
like a
Fool.
cholo with glasses, bro.
Yeah.
You're one of the smart ones, I guess.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You
So
put
that's
that
why I was
on.
embarrassed. My G, I'd rather wear some shades and you know what I mean, like or some crazy shit like that, or
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
like having shades, like I mean, glasses, it's
Bro, and you know
it's
what?
like hold on, dog, hold on, homie. Like you meet up your fucking rival, like hold on, dog. Let me take off my glasses and put it over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now we can.
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna give you that pass, fool. They're gonna just fuck you up right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
know,
true.
with or without the glasses, dog,
You
like,
break the glasses and
Yeah.
everything, huh?
you know.
And also going back
it-
on that. Yeah. Go
Uh-huh.
ahead. No,
Nah,
going back
go-
going back on that embarrassment shit, bro. When I was younger, like I was in high school, I used to fucking live in a trailer, bro, and I was always embarrassed of that shit. And people would make fun of me, like my schoolmates. They would see me and they'd be like, "Oh, dude, look, this fool lives in the trailer with all his brothers and all this shit." And I always was always embarrassed of that, bro. But
yeah,
now
yeah,
that I
yeah.
think of it, I'm like, I'm for sure doing better than them in life, maybe. but,
Yeah.
but besides that, like I seen how hard my parents would work, and how they were trying to give us a better life and put us on the right path, and they worked so hard for, for us to succeed in life. Whatever you wanted, you do it. Just don't fucking obviously don't be doing no dumb shit. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah.
appreciated how hard they would work for us, bro. And I think that's straight up inspiration right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they came from Mexico and they didn't come here with anything, bro. Maybe like $200, and they made a beautiful family, and they took care of us. And now look at us, bro.
Yeah.
So I
that's
always
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
that I always look up to that, and I'm like, man, like I shouldn't have been embarrassed, but I think that's just a youngster thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
it's-
And you
Yeah,
realize that
yeah,
it's
for
actually kind
sure.
of backwards, though. It's backwards because, like, all of us, our parents are here from Mexico, right? Both of our parents, so we're first generation.
You guys
And
are
I
first
think-
generation Mexican American?
Yeah,
I'm
first
Mexican.
generation. He was
You're
born in
what?
Mexico,
Yeah, I'm Mexican. I was born in Jalisco.
Oh, you're right.
Guadalajara.
Oh, okay.
and
So-
then my family's from Mexico too. But what I'm saying, I'm assuming you too, right? Both.
Yeah, I was
you're-
born here in the United States. Why don't you go back to your country, boy?
it's like I'm in hiding right now.
Yeah. Straight up.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm saying I'm like that's the story for everybody almost with our background. It's like, but at the same time, for me, like same thing, bro. Like growing up, most of your family is in one room, like renting one room, right? So
Yeah,
you never really think twice about it. You're just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like the poverty mindset. I think it's instilled on you when you're a kid, because like the kids around you making fun of you. If they would have never made fun of you, you would never be aware. Because you get home, you got your family, you got food, you got shelter. Like you would never think twice about
yeah,
it.
it's a normality for you that's living with those siblings and all that. But then the outside world, you know, obviously there's other people that've been here for a lot longer than
Yeah,
our
and they're
own
like, "What the
family,
fuck?
and
Look at these Mexicans all huddled up in one house," and it's like, bro, that's actually a beautiful house. Like that's a house when you get home, everybody's trying to feed you. You got yeah, there's knuckleheads. Yeah, some they want to do there's always people influenced by other things. Like I had cousins that they got locked up and they watched this movie and then they became the biggest gangbanger after that they watched that movie. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, there's always a movie
what's
they
crazy?
watch.
You know what's crazy, dog? I didn't even know I was poor, fool, till I got to elementary, fool.
That's what I'm telling you. And you were
Like,
not poor, bro.
you know what's crazy too
How did
is
you know
that
though?
other kids, also other kids like myself or that appear like myself or whatnot, uh, were the paisas, you know, and all
Yeah,
all that shit.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we got together. We made a little fucking rascal gang at an elementary just to fight against the well off or wealthy kids.
It's a class warfare. Or what? They
It
had a
was
whole
crazy though,
class
bro. It was
warfare.
crazy though. Like it's because the school, the little elementary school that I went to, it was like it was half white and half Mexican or Latino, how
Mexican,
you want
yeah.
to call it, right?
And it should be
And
wealthy white because it's Santa Barbara too, huh?
huh?
It's Santa Barbara, so they're probably wealthier whites.
Yeah, hell yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we were school, we like in elementary, pues, you know, this is kid shit, dog. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like the classism these that these kids decided to fucking band up to fight against, or feel like fuck you guys. We don't care. You guys have money. Like we'll still beat you in soccer, basketball, whatever you do, or
Yeah,
we
yeah.
squabble up or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like damn, bro. Like these little kids doing that shit as instinct.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Well,
huh?
yeah, yeah.
That is
Oh, you
very
need
crazy.
like that protection, the tribal protection type of shit. And
And
they do that too. You see that in workplaces. Like any work I go to, I've been through many jobs. I don't know, but any workplace, you see these little dynamics, these little uh groups huddling up. Like, oh, this is my tribe, this is my this and that. The Asians, the Mexicans, and then the white folks, and then you just see the dynamics of that and how that plays out. It's interesting, but I feel like Mexicans are the ones that they just don't take advantage of their numbers. In terms of every workplace, they're always the biggest majority, but they're always at the low, at the bottom. They never
Mhm.
actually gain any real strength in the powerful positions. They're always at the bottom, and then they'll when they see one coming up, it's like they keep them down.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so instead of giving each other like power, I guess you could say,
yeah.
and holding it, like certain groups, they know exactly how power works, and they put themselves in positions of power and they keep themselves there,
Yeah,
whether it
yeah.
be Asians or white folks. But Mexicans, for some reason, they'll get into these positions and then they'll kind of go either with a different group or they'll be taken down by their own. So it's interesting how they're always at the bottom, but they have the most numbers.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
shouldn't be scared at all. Like they
Yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
scared at all. We have nothing to worry about over here, but it's like
Damn.
Yeah,
you're your
yeah,
own worst enemy.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen it for myself too. You know, I witnessed
Yeah.
things like that.
I've
I'm
been
like,
kicked out of
damn.
jobs for learning in a week. Like me, I could learn something quick, bro. Like I had bad grades throughout school, but it's not because I couldn't learn. It's just because maybe I didn't turn into work. But
Nah,
I'll go
you
to a
know,
job
it was
and
just
I'll
a
learn in a week.
learning. It was just. I definitely could tell you're not fucking stupid, dog. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I get kicked out for learning
you
in a
know what
week,
it
bro.
probably would have been is either because you were just bored at school because it would you is or because the way they teach wasn't a par with the way that you learn.
That's
You
a
know,
fact.
because I was terrible at school too, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like motherfuckers could be just riding a gang and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't learn
Yeah,
that way. You
yeah,
know, I'm a hands-on individual, and woo woo woo. You know, and
yeah.
Yeah.
but like it's more of a
Different
what's that
type of way, yeah.
auditory? I think it's like an auditory learner
Like
and a
visual
visual
learner.
learner.
Yeah, visual
Yeah.
learner. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So I'm a definitely a visual learner, dog. But I from you know, I'm assuming that's probably something like that for yourself.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I would say so. I would say so. And I also think it's also there's just different type of teachers too, bro. Like there's good teachers and then there's people who are really naturally talented. I feel like people who are naturally talented, they're not very good teachers sometimes, bro. Because there's people who when they pick something up quickly, they can't really explain it to somebody else. So you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy because there's a lot of Nahuatl speakers out there, right? I'm gonna bring this up. There's a lot of Nahuatl
Yeah.
like speaking people that don't even know how to fucking They don't
Teach it.
know they don't know their language grammatically. But it's like yourself, bro.
Mm.
It's like you and I. Like for example, this is an example right here. You know how to speak English. All three of us. Maybe some of us also speak Spanish, right? Uh, by even speaking that English, I can't I can't teach you English in a perfect grammatical manner. I could teach
Ooh.
you layman English or slang and all
Street
of that. But even then, it's not gonna be thorough with linguistic.
academic level,
Academic.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that
you know what
shit.
I mean, like all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Dog.
That's
Yeah.
hard, bro.
And it's the
That is
same
hard.
thing with Nahuatl speaking people. Like they speak it, but they don't they don't know how to teach it, or like they don't even know how to write it.
Let's go, bud. Come on. Go, come on. Salud. Use code FOO-88.
That's
And
something I
then
want to ask you about too. Now what? Because we didn't talk about all that. Now what? Then that's like your whole page. Like last time we had you on, and I'm like, man, that's like so interesting. What do you like with that whole now what speaking world? Uh, I remember you mentioned the dialects, the certain one that you speak, and then I remember somebody commented. They're like, oh yeah. Well, they comment everything. I'm not saying this just in a bad way.
yeah,
I was curious. They said, oh yeah, that's not even a widely accepted version or this and that. What does that mean? Like, what do you
yeah.
think they're?
So I mean, we all have different perspectives, dog.
Yeah.
But okay. So historically, we're gonna bring it up to this real quick. I don't know if this is exactly what you mean. So what the version that I speak is Huehuetlactoli, and it's just Centro Nahuatl. So I
Mm,
mean that means like Tenochtitlan, all those
Mhm.
locations, and there may be some similarities to even to like the other variants around. And but the thing is why is it not accepted? It's because they don't know their shit, bro. So a lot of the time, these indigenous communities they don't have schools to teach you Nahuatl. So it's a lot
mm.
of like I know how my people are, fool. I know how it is because I'm always me la estoy pasando con los paisas, güey. Well, you guys probably even seen you guys always also might have seen it too. Le conformamos. We modify it. We change it a
Oh,
little
we
by
change
little
it up.
because we
Yeah.
don't really know. We weren't taught to say things. That's why in my pueblo we say michon to say a cat
Michon.
Me too.
when it's
Never heard that.
originally or at least known to be
Sounds
written
like sounds like
in the
michon.
oldest text. To
Sounds
be
like
written in
michon.
the oldest
Yeah.
text, like the most like I guess I see it as evidence is that it is written as miston, to say a
Miston.
cat, miston. But my pueblo says michon, michon.
Mm.
So they modified it because they weren't aware, bro. They weren't educated. They weren't taught. Because back in those times, there were schools to teach you how to properly speak Nahuatl, and then there was the poor man Nahuatl.
Mm,
The one that didn't get the opportunity to go to school or
that's
whatever there might have been
interesting.
the
That's
circumstances.
interesting.
Very
So
interesting.
so now, I mean, colonialism started, right? So they weren't opening up indigenous schools. They were opening up Spanish class schools. And you had to pay for your education back in those days in Mexico. There's a lot of
Mm.
poverty in Mexico, and
Mm.
especially in the indigenous communities. So they didn't even get education at all. Majority of them. The only education they got was from like just lived experience, lived their own life experiences. So that's how they learn. And then that's why I'm telling you that earlier that most of them don't even know how to teach you now what. They just only
Mm.
know how to so-called disque speak it, but they're speaking it in proper Nahuatl to my eyes because
Oh, okay.
I've been educating myself very, very deeply and thoroughly onto this
Mm.
so my shit is based on old literature of the colonizer and the indigenous people of the 1500s. So there's
Mm.
the evidence right there. Their Nahuatl is, oh, this is how my grandpa spoke, and that was like a generation ago. And I'm supposed to take that as a word? Like, nah, there's fucking evidence here, physical evidence of literature, old literature of Nahuatl, and I can understand it. And I can, and I also see the imperfections of it. But like I'm telling you, a lot of these speakers, they don't know how to, they speak it, but they speak to what I would consider to be a layman version of it, a layman
Mm.
Nahuatl version of it.
Mm.
So I see a lot of crazy shit on the internet, like fools sharing Nahuatl, and I see a lot of incorrect shit. And a
Yeah.
lot of the times, people say, "Oh, languages evolve." Yes, it does. But the problem here is that we were colonized, my G. If
Hmm.
colonization didn't happen, then Nahuatl or whatever language would have been more prominent or whatever, or more in usage, would have been evolutionizing properly with no interruption of colonialism. And
Mm.
because colonialism existed, that's why fucking all these languages are all beat to shit. And then a lot of the times, these indigenous languages kind of conform to the Western civilization manner of. So like that's why you hear like Kwali Tonali, Kwali Yowali, Kwali Tlaneshi. That's none of that shit was said back in them days, fool. That's
Just the way it's
westernized.
structured.
Yeah, it's westernized Nahuatl, bro. That's
Hmm.
westernized Nahuatl. We never said that back in them days, fool. If anything, we would ask you, how did you get to this point of the day? Whether it's the
Hmm.
evening, the night, or how did you get through the day? How did you go through the night? Those are the type of buenos dias. In what
Yeah.
manner did you awake? Did you
Mm.
awake with anxiety? Did you wake with uh just being collective? Did you wake with, how did you wake? That's the buenos dias.
And what made you get more into that language, bro? Like, what inspired you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna learn this the right way?
My haters.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think you mentioned
dude.
that the first time you said that you wanted to prove them wrong and they were like, hating on you or some shit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And then you became obsessed with it, right? You
Huh?
have a little bit of you went like deep into the rabbit hole of the language and
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I
that's what's
got
up. That's what's up.
very intrigued by it, dog. Like it spoke to me. Like, there's not very many things in life that really like captivates me like that, And the
Mhm.
language, to me, I think is valuable to fix, I guess, so to say, or try to put it in a trajectory where it can actually be more proper, you
Hmm.
know.
Did you ever get
And
into like writing your own like let's say for example, something that I really like what I think was cool is what is it Nezahualcóyotl? He was like a warrior, fucking
Tlacthuani,
up
he was a
yeah, up
Tlacthuani.
and then a poet too, right? So I think he has a lot of poetry and he was an architect too. He made a bridge, he made bridges and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the thing that's interesting about that is that the samurai in Japan, they also have this culture of like being warriors, but
Yeah.
also being poets. So there's this really interesting guy that I came across. He's the last guy, I think. Well, he there's a lot of instances with these Japanese generals, like World War II, and even politicians. They'll either commit suicide or after a failure, but before that, they'll write a poem.
A
And
sepulcha.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
called sepulcha.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about when they kill themselves. But I was just wondering if you ever got into the poetry aspect of like with these Nahuatl poet speakers, because I always thought it would be so cool to understand what they're actually saying, because usually you just read the translations, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hey,
So, I, it's crazy because I made my group of students that I have actually translate a Nezahualcóyotl poetry.
Oh, there you
But
go.
there was already a translation there. I didn't give them the translation because I thought it was bogus. Some of the parts, I was
Mm,
just like, what the fuck? That's not what it says. But it was translated as that.
there you
So
go.
I gave them this poetry to fucking like, just to translate themselves and what they get out of it, what they see out of these words from, based on what I've been teaching them and then their knowledge that they've gained, with my guidance, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
yeah,
beautiful. Actually, that's beautiful.
yeah, bro. And,
And
and and is that a popular thing? Like you were saying, like they write a poem right before they're gonna kill themselves, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you know what that reminded me. Supposedly, Hitler did that too, right? Like
Oh shit, I didn't know.
he wrote like a
A
poem
suicide
or
note?
yeah, or some shit like that, bro.
Oh
I
shit.
think that's what supposedly.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
so.
yeah,
I didn't hear. I never heard that one
yeah.
before, but
yeah,
that'd
me
be
neither.
interesting. Yeah,
Me
Yeah,
neither. I never. Probably.
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, bro. Because I mean, before we a lot more, I think it's in our instinct as humans to leave something behind as like
a
a
memory.
farewell. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Unless
yeah,
you
yeah.
have no options, and pues, you know. But I think a lot of the times, though, that's kind of like a natural instinct of us. Maybe I don't know, or
That's
I would like to
interesting.
think
That's
that
good.
maybe because I probably would have done the same shit, right? Some shit. I'm like, damn, ya me valió madre aquí.
Yeah, vale verga.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's just funny
quiero
as
que
fuck.
se den cuenta que woo woo woo,
Yeah, yeah.
But you
and
wait, what? So what did your students end up like? Do you remember the poem? Just to
off the dome, no, not really, because it was like I think it was like the second or third time I saw it, and I don't really necessarily go too much into that just yet. I do dabble in it, but it was just it was just like an encouragement.
exercise.
There, and within that poem that he wrote, he talked about like you may complain or you are complaining, but you should wear your complaints, you should wear your complaints, your
Your
complain,
complaints.
yeah, your complaints as your cape, like. So
Ooh.
you're bitching like, oh, life is fucking terrible, this and that, and like he was describing of like this is a struggle that we need to like get up and play our drums now.
Ooh, oh,
So
I think I've come across something like that. Yeah,
so it's just like it's now, but that's
that's
the
pretty dope.
interpretation. What do he meant by that? Like, does it mean in a literal sense, or does it mean it in a war aspect?
There you go. I
Ooh.
like that. That's the poetry. It's up to you to decide, huh?
Yeah,
Decide
yeah, that's
how
what I'm
it.
saying. Like, that's why I made my students read that shit, like, or translate it themselves.
That's a badass exercise
Mm.
because that's what they do with the Bible too. Like the Bible, these guys, they'll argue about a meaning forever for centuries, and you're like, "What? This translation doesn't make sense." And there's like all these translations, and who's right? Like who's right? Who's wrong? It's like
Yeah.
it's
And
crazy.
yeah, and then like going back on the hater shit, like obviously they're always gonna hate on something, and I think you said something about like La Raza, right? Like
Oh yeah, that's another topic that we talked about, and we
yeah.
talked about the
Hell
Raza
yeah.
shit,
I mean,
and then
it's because,
Taboo.
bro,
What you said?
like,
Taboo tapped in.
huh?
Taboo, the Black Eyed Peas,
Member,
Yeah,
member, yeah,
taboo,
yeah.
too.
he tapped
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
He shout out to him. I don't know if he's listening or not, but he said, "Hey, I love you guys' work. I love opening this discussion." I was like, "Holy shit!"
That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Shitload of people
He's
tapped in.
a positive person. He likes to be positive against with people, dog. You know,
Yeah.
That's really
and
cool. I
that's
was
cool.
like, damn. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh shit, because you guys were. I don't know if you saw it because you guys were tagging me or how the fuck that happened, but he saw it. You
I
know?
think he probably follows the other pages because like I
Okay,
was
okay.
talking about, I also collab with a bunch of like Mexican American indigenous pages,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I think there's a big one called the I don't know his name personally, but I tap in with him a lot. It's the Feathered Serpent on IG. I think he's from Long Beach. It's
Oh,
a
for
account
reals?
from Long. He has like 150K, but I know a lot of people follow that guy too. So I'll just be tagging him, and then that
It's
fool
feathered
collabs.
serpent.
Feathered Serpent. He posts like historical stuff and Mexican American, Mexica, all this kind of stuff. But it's an interesting account. But shout out to him. I think it might have been with that, and then I also I tag everybody. So I tagged you. I tagged
Yeah, 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 yeah.
all the homies. Shout out to everybody collabing us and all that kind of shit. But
Yeah,
that shit
that's-
kind of build us up slowly. But yeah, it surprised me too. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even see it until everybody commented on it. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
shout out to this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of reaction did you guys get when
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 I
you posted
when
that?
I read it or when I just posted those clips.
No, the whole La Raza thing, the whole La Raza comment.
The Raza, in terms of the clip or what he actually wrote. What do you mean?
Or like
No,
the
what I
haters or
said.
what?
Nah, I'm going past
Oh.
taboo.
Oh, what you said. Oh yeah. Damn yeah. For that whole clip, I think you're right. I think you're right in your perspective. And like I think we mentioned, I DM'd you and we are talking about it. I'm like, yeah, nothing you said was wrong. And because it is true, there can be many ways it can be used and it can be erased, and maybe the historical origin of it can have this weird twist to it. And most people who use it, they don't know the history of it.
Of
They
course.
don't. Most words we use, we don't know the history of
And
them.
that's why
Yeah, of
I'm gonna
course.
give you an example, bro. So I don't know how you guys feel about fucking the Nazi symbol or whatnot. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't care or whatever, but people out there, they know the history, at least the modern interpretation of the swastika, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then suddenly, if I wanted to be like, well, I want to give this symbol a new meaning, and I'm over here campaigning. Oh, it doesn't mean it's not a hatred symbol anymore. It's this. It's this.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why I'm saying this is because you already have the knowledge of what that swastika means, right?
Yeah.
So you would look at me towards like, what the fuck is this fool doing? Like this fool's a dump truck trying to use the swastika to mean something positive, right?
But the ancient origin of the swastika is past the.
Bro,
Yeah. But
there's like
but globally, the swastika is known for that shit. You know, the Nazism. You know, but what I'm trying to give you an example
I get
is
your point. Yeah, I get your point.
you would look at me like, what the fuck is this fool doing? He don't know what the fuck he doesn't know what the history of the swastika means now.
Yeah.
Like, so you would look at me like that. So imagine me seeing other people saying la raza, la raza, la raza, and I know what the fuck it means and or what it means. Of course, I'm gonna look at those fools like, what the fuck? You guys are fucking dumb trucks.
Yeah, and that's what they commented. They're like, oh yeah, this and that, and then I think you're well known. They're like, oh, this guy hates the Chicanos and everything. I think you're like famous.
Hey, bro, a lot. You know, it's crazy, bro. A lot of my students are Chicanos, dog, or they at least half of them do consider themselves Chicanos. What I don't like is the neo Mexica, the whole like, oh, because you're Mexican, we're Mexican. Like, fuck no, you're not. Dog.
Yeah.
I don't. That's that whole neo narrative shit. Like trying to like, nah. Me paso eso por los abajo de los huevos, güey. No, ni madres.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there's a
wrong about
lot
that.
of ways that people take it, bro. Like, there's a lot of different aspects, and like I said, bro, nobody's gonna agree with all.
There's a lot of ways because there's a lot of people that don't know shit. That's why.
I mean, what if you? Okay, so like, for example, you just informed a lot of people, and then I already knew this, but at the same time, it's like, if you go to somewhere like Mexico City, for example, and you talk to people, they'll say, "Oh, what's up, Raza? Raza this, Raza that." It's like the word has transformed so much that even if it is a certain ignorant aspect, it's also kind of like the N word, bro. The N word used to mean just the color black, but then through the English speakers trying to say it got all twisted up, and then they started using it to each other, and now it's like almost meaningless in a way within their own community, you know? So it's like, I do think things transform, but like I said, there's people that are never going to agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot,
the identity of black, from my understanding or the little information that I have, when black or African people were slaves were being identified, they weren't going to be like, oh, this fool's black, or this guy's Senegal African, or this is Morocco African, or this. They weren't going to do that. So for them, it was I don't know if it was an intentional tool, but it was definitely a tool to erase people's identities and generalize them into a color, which is black. So now, multi generations ago, since the start of usage of the identification of black, now you have actual African Americans that don't know where they originate because of that tactic that the English, French people that, you know, from United States history used. So that's why most of them
it's true.
That's why most of them accept that identity black, because that's all they have, you know. It's just what it is now for that. And it's the same thing for white people. White people just saying the same shit. We need to unite the French, the England, the British, the Spanish, the Italian, all this shit, all in our country. We need to unify them and believe that they are genuinely white. But if you go to Europe and say, oh, I'm white just like you, and then be like, what the fuck? No, you're not. I'm from Britain. I'm from England. I'm from whatever. Da, 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 da. They know themselves enough not to comply to the identity of white. But for whatever reason, here in the United States, it's emphasized to generalize a set of people into an identity. La raza, the way that I've heard it in how most of you guys accept it. Like, oh, it means like somos gente de Latinoamérica. Somos unidos y esto que la chingada, you know? But it don't really mean that, bro. It don't mean that. What it means is from like La Raza Cosmica, way, from Jose Vasconcelos. And this one was pretty much a fucking Nazi. He actually wrote, it was kind of ironic because he was a racist, but the book was talking about fusion of indigenous people, of African descent people, European descent people, and Asian people. He even called Chinese people ratas in his book. But he was talking about getting the best traits of all those communities to make a new race. And the reason why this is an issue too is that when you hear mestizaje, right? Or tú eres mestizo, you're not no longer an indio. And the reason why they say that in our community, in our Latino America, is because they think once you add another mixture, you're no longer this. So if we go off of that identity, if we go with that type of mentality, then then I would be not considered to be indigenous, or you, or any of you guys, or anybody. In fact, we are no longer indigenous because we're not full blooded, right? And that's a message of what Vasconcelos was doing. He said, you guys are all gonna fucking mix so much that you guys are no longer gonna be all these things. But we live in modern day times. There's people out there that believe in the whole one blood drop rule. If you have a 2% black or 3%, 4% black, then I'm black. But there's actual black people that be like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
You
like
know?
a huge, crazy. Yeah, this is the
And
big debate
then
amongst all
I'm
these
like,
spaces, bro.
it's like, I have white blood in me too. I'm European. I have white European in me. How come I'm not getting benefited from the fucking white privileges? I got
Yeah.
white people, you know what I mean? Nah, you're not white enough. And
Mm.
here's an example too. This is why we get with those white Mexicans be like, oh, I'm not white, I'm not indigenous enough, and this and that. That's la raza right there. That's the raza cosmica. They're not gonna know who they are. They're not gonna know what kind of
Mm.
experience they're gonna get because they're so mixed so much.
So in your perspective, what would you like classify your average Mexican? Like, would you say that they're part of a certain race, or would you take
I
them
mean, I can
for
only
their
genuinely,
tribe?
I can only like, I don't know what you meant by that question, but if I can say that I could only speak of the Mexican American experience primarily. You know, Mexico's experience as its own. I only know the small pueblo in the rural areas of Mexico. You know, of
Mm.
I know that experience. I don't know what it is to be born in a typical home here in the United States. You know, with the privileges that we have, you know, having running water and all that shit, right? And
Yeah.
having the privilege of having internet, a great internet source, and woo woo woo, right? So I don't know what it is. I don't know that experience of Mexico, bro. I only know the campo experience of Mexico because that's where my
Mm.
family originates from.
But yeah,
So
what I get the point. I'm thinking like I understand the history of it, and I understand like yes, it can be used in that way, and if this guy's a bad dude or whatever, but at the same time, it's like I think the word itself, it might not even be the way it's used. Like I said it before, for me personally, it's really just like a friend, like hey raza, like what's up, homie, like that type of
or
shit.
like, what's
So
yeah,
up,
when we say it, that's
yeah.
literally how it's said.
It's like primo.
Yeah.
nah,
Like, what's up, primo? You
But
know?
people in the comments, right? People in the comments, and then your perspective too. People in the comments are like, "Oh no, it's only for Mexicans," and then other people are like, "Oh, it's only for this type of Latinos and this and that." And I'm like, okay, so we have some
nah.
semantics.
Jose Vasconcelos said that phrase, "La raza cósmica" is for all Latino America. So that
Mm,
includes Central and South America. So
Mhm.
it is not it might have be the philosophy or the theory might have came out of Mexico, but it's not exclusive to Mexico.
yes,
Who is that dude? I don't really know too much of that.
Jose
Yeah,
Vasconcelos.
is that dude like what was he a
Well, he's kind of like a
colonizer?
prominent figure because he tried to ran he ran for presidency for Mexico. He's a philosopher, a politician. He was also the lead role for Mexico's education. So he's a prominent figure in Mexico's
Ooh.
history, bro. So like,
So what do you
Damn.
think about all these people? Because there's a lot of people that were torn on it. There's a lot of people that were like, well, you know what's? It is funny though too, because within a Mexican family, bro, you have the whole colors of every rainbow, bro. And I'm assuming your family too. And
of
it's
course,
like like within even your brothers, your aunts, everything. It's like everybody comes out a different look,
Yeah.
and so it's like when
Yeah,
the
it's,
people comment,
the roll of the dice of genetics.
yeah, roll of dice of the genetic lottery or whatever the fuck it is. But some person could be like native. Some person can be more Afro indigenous looking and more indigenous. I have everything in my background. So it's
Yeah.
like when you say these things, a lot of people got angry. They're like, "Oh yeah, my brother, he's like he looks redheaded as hell, and that fool's my raza, so I'm never gonna deny him." And there's a certain aspect of that Mexican culture
Kinship
or our culture.
is different from that phrase, bro.
I know,
Kinship
I know,
is
I know, but
different.
at the same time, it's like that.
But the ones that
I
are
just even said
complaining about
the
the ones that
phrase.
are
So
complaining
like
about that, they're trying to
naturally,
entwine kingship with a phrase such as that, which is
but at the
not.
same time, it's like the word itself. I don't think it erases. If anything, the way I just used it was inclusive. So it's like, bro, I'm including somebody, and I understand that. Yes, back maybe even I think the erasure didn't even start with the creation of that word. I think the creation of that word is really just the creation of a myth, of a collective myth, because the erasure actually started right when they came here, bro. The erasure started
Of course,
in the
of
1600s.
course.
So I
And,
don't think that
you're
word
correct.
really.
And you know how I know that you're correct, because in 1929, Jose Vasconcelos thought of this philosophy based on what he was seeing already
Yeah, and that's
historically.
smart. That actually is a really smart
And that's
thing.
what led him into believe that. So yes, you are correct, because it
That's that
started when
that's a
colonialism
really
started in Mexico.
sharp thing because that's what they do with anything would do with groups of people, bro. Anything to do with groups of people, you could have them all lost, or you can have them with the collective myth. And the collective myth is necessary. People need to buy into something. Whether because without that, then you guys are
Yeah,
just
it's
a
because
kind of
it's because
people need
la
something.
mayoría de la gente, güey. You said it in the first time we fucking interacted, dog. You're waiting for the world to fucking tell you who you are. Ain't nobody gonna do that especially for a
Exactly.
motherfucker like you and me and
Yeah.
I forgot my homie's name, Eddie.
Martin.
Who's Eddie?
He's Eddie.
Martin. You know,
Yeah.
you know, we on the. I guess it depends. You know, we're definitely in a low
Low population, low
priority.
numbers.
Low priority.
A
You know what I
minority.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Like
they,
it's like that. Yeah. Like,
that's what I'm telling you. Everybody waits to be told who they are, dog.
Yeah.
Most of our gente, homie, even our parents, dog. My parents too. They're so fucking like they were taught pendejadas, dog. I'll be like, what the fuck? I'll be telling like, oh, get it, you know, just to fuck with them. Like, what are you? What's your raza? What's your race? And they'd be like, Mexican. I was like, are you that? I'd be like, nah, I'm Mexican too because of a national identity. That is not a raza. That's a national. That's a national identity, bro.
I don't
That is not.
necessarily agree with that either. I think Mexican is a culture on its own, bro. If you ask anybody from Mexico, they're like, I'm Mexican. That's a culture. That's an identity. Identities are made up. It doesn't
No,
make you being
well,
identified with your tribe doesn't
identity.
make you any less real than a Mexican identifying with Mexico, bro.
No,
It's both
so
made up.
that's the thing, though, bro. That's a problem. That's an issue. And the reason why it's an issue is because you're continuing the generation of people being told who they are, and then there's people that are gonna be accepting it, right? They're gonna accept it. It's like It's like people say, "Oh, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian." You know, I'm going with religion here. Jesus never once said, "I'm a motherfucking Christian." He said, "I'm the son of God." So why is there millions upon millions of people identifying as Christians that they're supposed to live like a life similar to Jesus or following his steps? But he never once called himself that. So why
Yeah.
accept that identity?
No, but that's the
Because it's
message we share too.
somewhat
Yeah,
connected
we share
to
that message
Christ's
too.
last name.
I agree
No,
with
he
that.
never said none of that. He
I don't
never
think there's
said.
any Christians, bro. I don't
He
think the
never
real
said.
Christian was Christ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he never said, like, identify based on my supposed last name, bro. You know, people identify as that, but they don't know. They don't really genuinely know shit. So now you have generations of people that don't want to question that, and they still continue to identify as such. So that's what's going on with the identity of Mexican. People are not really necessarily educating themselves properly, that they're continuously identifying with a nationality. It's the same shit with white people, bro. I'm a Native American. I'm fucking from America. Woo, woo, woo. So why is it a fucking issue for a white man to say that? I'm an American. I'm not fucking from the other side of the world. I was born here. You know, they're identifying as such. But when we see them, we're like, no, ustedes son extranjeros. You guys are not the original people here. It's a fucking problem. But it's the same shit going on with Mexico. Or people that identify as Mexicanos, dog. People are they're not educating themselves. And it's harder here living in the United States in a sense, because in the public school education, they're not educating us about our genuine identity or in our history. They're educating us on the white man's history,
Okay.
where I don't relate to.
Yeah. You got a point. What I'm saying, what's tricky is that, okay, so let's say in your mind, like that's the question I get back to. Is like in your mind, how would you identify these the rest of the Mexicans, right? So like your parents, how would you want them to answer that question, since they're your blood and they're your parents? Like how would they answer that?
Well, because they don't have the proper education of knowing who they are, right? So they just go off as, oh, was it the smart one or the esquivado, the person that esquiva la pinche pregunta. They'll be like, soy humano, you know?
Yeah.
It's the same shit as fucking saying, oh, I'm Mexican. It's the same shit. It's esquivando la verdadera pregunta. Just say, I don't know, bro. You know, I don't know what I am.
That's At the same time, it's like people, you know, they don't want to learn, bro. They
don't want to. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, the masses rather be told what they are, who they are. So when they see a motherfucker like me saying no, no, no,
I think you're right. I think
when they see when I start saying no, 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 they start questioning. They're like, oh, I'm being rejected. I'm being denied. You know, like I'm being denied. All my life I'm being denied. All my life I'm being denied for being not white enough, not Mexican enough, and all this bullshit. So when they see a person like me saying this, like, no, 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 know yourself, know who you really genuinely are.
No, yeah,
like,
I agree.
Where it's a problem.
No, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a good to speak on it, because it does go back to the root topic. Because if you take that to its extreme, it's always going to be, as corny as it sounds, that's a spiritual answer that you're finding. It's not. It doesn't lead back to indigeneity. It leads back to
a general thought.
No, yeah, you're right. I agree with you 100%. That's literally, we shared that message over and over again. I do think
this message could be applied to Europeans from here, Africans from here, Asians from here.
Yeah, it applies to being a human, like literally finding yourself, your soul, your spirit, which would be the divine.
My words are not exclusively. My words are not exclusively for Mexico, man. My words is just exclusive. Is just open for all humans to know who they are.
No, yeah, I hear that, and I hear that. But what I do see with a lot of these spaces, I'm not going to assume that you're saying that. What I do see with a lot of the spaces is a lot of the indigenous accounts, the language they always use is, like I said, I'm not saying it's you, but they use like this aspect of, oh, you're not this and that because you don't even know your tribe, you don't know where you're from. You should go find where you're from, and it's like, okay, so what makes it more real if you find what tribe your lineage from? What makes your identity more real now? Your identity is still made up. You're still gonna try to reconnect and create some story for yourself. So that's
identity and ethnicity are two different things, bro.
I don't agree with that.
Ethnicity is who we are. Indigenous people here in the United States, we're all relatives, and to some extent, you know, we all descend from an ancestor. You know, the Uro-Aztecan language does, you know, and all the rest of the other languages. We all descend from an ancestor. And what makes us different is not only our languages, our customs, and our views over how we see the world, which that makes ethnicity. That's what makes it ethnicity. So, and that ethnicity is what gives you identity. Identities such as Mexican, American, Colombiano, Paraguay. Those are all national and just surface level identity. It's empty. Because what the fuck is a Mexican, bro? What the fuck is a black person? What the fuck is a white person?
But don't you
What
think
is an
they've taken
Asian
on
person?
a life of their own at this point? Like if you go to Mexico, you talk to a Mexican, there's a certain culture that comes behind that. There's a certain energy
Yeah.
you get,
Yeah.
and
And that's
it's
why
like
and
repeatable.
that's what I'm trying to get at, like right here. And that's why the northern Mexicans are different from central Mexicans, and we're different from southern part of Mexico. And those
But
are all like
in the U.S. is the same
and that's
thing,
like
bro.
a cultural thing that is different. You know, have you ate chapulines, bro?
In Mexico City, yeah.
There's tons of people that don't. Have you ate washing? Which wajes?
Is that rabbit?
No, wajes.
No.
You know, I eat wajes. What about epazote?
No.
What about cola de rata?
Oh, that's
Aquilite.
like the no.
No, I haven't tried that.
You know, what about gusano de maguey?
No, you ate the
We
gusano
get- oh yeah, yeah,
for the tequila shot.
well, yeah.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about actual, really like eating.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know.
But I
yeah.
get your message. There's differences that should be celebrated, and there should be known that people have their own uniqueness, and that's
Yeah.
perfectly fair. I don't think that should be erased. That's not the message that I'm trying to say. I say that you can have that cultural unity and that understanding, and not erase each other.
but
My whole
I
thing.
think I don't know what unity is for everybody. You know, I think unity for me is like an acuerdo. You know, being acuerdo, but based on like facts, dog, not an illusion, a fantasy.
What is the
To me,
illusion?
like for example, I've given this example before. My neighbor, bro, he's from a rival gang. We know that we're rivals, and because we in a sense of like, let's say if suddenly something happened where a set of other people started to try to like attack my neighbor, so I'm gonna go out there and defend my neighbor, dog. Be like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on? Not only I'm defending my neighbor, I'm also defending my home. Like, you know, we're neighbors. Like, this is my neighborhood, dog.
Yeah.
To me, that's unity, an acknowledgement that I know the fact that he is a rival gangbanger from my neighborhood. That is unity. Me respecting who they are. I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's suddenly from my neighborhood. He's from my neighborhood. He's from my gang. We the same kin. We the same people. We grew up in the same fucking city. Hell no, we didn't, dog. We grew up in the same city, but we grew up in different sides, and that's why you know.
But
Woo
you
woo
don't think
woo.
that's a certain choice that you're making to be this way?
A choice. What?
Like you're making it seem like he's such an alien to you, but it's based off of your own childhood experiences almost.
I mean, yes and no. Because I know that we're all human, dog. We're all people. We all have capabilities of emotions, and some of us have higher intellectual capabilities, and etc. Right? Or some of us are more talented in other things or whatnot. So I know that we're humans, dog. And I could treat everybody and anybody fairly, just like how I stated at the beginning. I'll treat you how I would like to be treated, but I like to see the human side of people. You know, I didn't say I only apply that to Mexicans and Guatemalans or Salvadorian. I apply that shit all in all to everybody, dog.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and but I also know the circumstances where historically people of whom I descend from and you guys likely also descend from. I know the history of that and how they utilize various types of tactics to eliminate or assimilate these indigenous people. And colonialism isn't over. Colonialism has never been over, dog. As long as we exist, you, I, and we are a resistance to that colonialism.
Yeah, I agree
And
with that.
if you don't think that's a battle worth fighting for, then I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe
yeah, I agree.
you know.
I think
Yeah, it's like even the same thing, like people paying fucking too much taxes, and people and these billionaires are trying to take over all this bullshit, and people are just letting it go. You know, it's like if that doesn't mean anything to you, then we're all pretty much good.
Let me give you another example right here, doggy.
All right.
The African American community from the United States. If they say suddenly when even just and here's a celebrity pendejo. Kanye West one time said like, "Oh, being a slave that sounds like a choice." Woo woo woo. You know, he said all kinds of shit because it's un pendejo way. Like he doesn't know his people because he comes from a place of better living in comparison to his people that are not in a better living circumstances as Kanye West. So, but people that do know their history, like the African Americans that know their history, their background, everything, they fight for it and they constantly remind people of it. Right. And then there's nothing wrong with that, as they should, because that is them teaching not only themselves and their future generations about their history, not to forget it. Because if they forget it, bro, like what is that? Is that an empty life?
Yeah.
Is that an empty life? Like, what am I? What am I,
Mhm.
dog? I'm not African American anymore. I'm like, I don't know who we are. Who am I? To me, I think life is more beautiful and valuable and valued once you know yourself. If you're living for yourself in that moment and not necessarily thinking of the generation of your family, at least minimal, then life is meaningless, dog.
Yeah.
To some extent,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a complicated subject. I don't think there's ever going to be a full answer to it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because even if you read the comment section, man, everybody is either on one side or this side, and
Like always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They're always gonna be.
and I don't think it's going to be
I could also apply it to Christianity as a whole too. Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
that shit
yeah,
happened in the past. It actually
Yeah.
happened to a fucking person that I don't even fucking know. But people, there's
Yeah.
millions and billions of
Yeah.
people that keep that story alive.
They keep it
I read
alive.
the Bible, bro. I used to be a Christian, but I denounced that. I'm not a Christian anymore. I never have. I'm no, I made that decision of my own
Yeah.
because I felt like the pain and struggle that was brought upon to my people and then forced to learn Catholicism and all of that, a variant of Christianity, I felt like it was unjust. And if the God of yours exists, then he should be able to forgive me for him putting in my heart that this is more valuable to fight for than to live a life of like that is just solely for myself. If I'm gonna be condemned because I want to stand up for my people, like fuck it, dog.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I think to me, that's more an honorable way of living
For sure.
than to be just like, oh, I got to be a good person or or whatever relationship you might have with God. But like, shit, if God knows it all and he knows the past, the present, and the future, you know what I mean? Like, how can I do anything wrong?
I have a question because you said your people, but with your message, I have questioning who is like your people. Like, do you accept
The indigenous people of Central Mexico, Nahuatl.
So that's like your specific.
That's more my people, my specific people. I can't speak for Yaqui. I can't speak for Otomi. I can't speak for Maya. I can't speak for Purepecha. I can't speak for none of the other worth learning communities. When I say my people, I'm talking about Nahuatl. I'm talking about Nahuatl. But if you people, and if even within Nahuatl, if they say like, oh, you're not my people, but like, and somebody's from Puebla saying that, a Nahuatl from Puebla, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm from fucking Guerrero. I'm a Nahuatl from Guerrero. You know?
So like hyper specific tribal.
Yeah, and if another Nahuatl from Guerrero tells me, oh, you're not a Nahuatl, I'm like, from such and such place, I'm like, no, you're right. I'm a Nahuatl from Acayohualco.
So like the majority of Mexicans wouldn't fall under your people at that, with that.
Yeah, because it's like all over, like basically Aztec and all these type of.
Yeah, but
it may sound complicated. It's like, dude, it sounds complicated, but once you know your shit, it's like it's cake, dog.
No, I get it. It's not complicated. I get that you're hyper specific on what your background, and that's your take. That's perfectly fine. What I'm not obviously not coming from that background. I'm not coming from, and my family's from Central Mexico too. My family's right from Azcapotzalco in Mexico City, and I have genetics right there, family right there, blood from right there, and it's like, so in a sense, yeah, I'll fall into your categories according to what you just said right now, but
Of course. And
um,
I can fucking visibly see that you are my people, dog. And even fucking Martin over there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It's like that message a little bit. It is a little bit like it does repel people away in a unnecessary sense. But I understand your passion for being hyper specific and claiming what's yours. So I fully understand where you're coming from. But what I'm saying is I guess that's the mismatch from even the clip that we made. It's like that clip is, yeah, I'm more of a collective. I'm coming from a collective perspective, especially because I see in Southern California, bro. I grew up right here in Santana with Mexicans from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the homie here is one of my best homies. He's
Yeah.
from Jalisco. I don't have family in Jalisco.
Yeah.
I got my cousins that I grew up with. They're from Mazatlan. They're families from Mazatlan, but we all lived in one house. We all grew up together. My mom's from Nayarit. Everybody I went to school with is from a different part of Mexico. Our
Yeah, yeah.
our Spanish, our language, our slang is from every part of Mexico. We have people from southern Mexico. We have people from northern Mexico. So it's like we're all melting pot. And when I look at him, I don't see he's like different or alien from me.
Yeah, of
When I
course.
look at in the
We're a
street,
diverse nation, dog.
so yeah,
People.
that's why I believe there's a disconnect with when we hear these messages. And this is a great discussion. I think you're very intelligent, and I like all your shit you make.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
like
think that's where the disconnect is here. Obviously,
And it's
this
always good to disagree and stuff,
I
you
don't
know, see
for
your point of view and stuff.
I think I wouldn't say like I don't know how to really necessarily word this properly, but it's I think if you know your history and you know what kind of people I mean, because my life experience is not of a white European or a white Espanol fool. Uh, it comes from a very humble beginning. I come from a long generation of people that have been campesinos, way,
Mm.
leading up to Tenochtitlan. You know,
Mhm.
that's where esos son mis raíces, way.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and
I,
and I think
it's a passion. I know you have a lot of passion for that.
there's a not a appreciative uh, contribution to society to those that participate or as agriculture to be the profession, right? And you can see
Yeah.
it even to this day and age, dog,
Yeah.
with the campesinos that are working the fields here in California. Shit, I'm pretty sure that a lot of those white people don't even know what hands were fucking grabbing these fruits before they get up to the market.
That's for sure.
No, I agree. It
They
makes
don't
you angry.
know. They don't know that these people are working through natural disasters sometimes, wildfires,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and just so you know,
Yeah.
they're unappreciative people,
Mhm.
dog.
Yeah.
That's
And
and yeah, that's our message
and you
too,
know,
bro.
coming from an immigrant family, you know, such as like you guys, me for an example, fool, I saw it, dog. You know, my family were very submissive to white people. I was like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
They tried to apply that shit to me, but I was like, no,
Mm.
no, you know,
Yeah.
fuck
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
because not because I feel like I'm not only speaking up for my own family's experience, humble beginnings experience. I'm also speaking for those that have similarity stories to my family. And that's to me, it's more honorable to stand up for that
Yeah.
than to have 100,000, 200,000 motherfuckers to like my shit. I don't give a fuck about that, dog. I just
Yeah.
want to be heard. I want my
Yeah.
story to be heard. I want my people to be recognized and appreciated in
Yeah.
a
That's where I
and a
get it.
hundred times more higher than what they already are. But there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that try to water down the story, bro. They try to water down the story. They try to manipulate their own circumstances. You know, I see
Mm.
a lot of hippie shit out there, dog. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not Mesoamerica, you know? But
Mm.
I'm not out here to, I mean, I make my judgments, dog, but I don't act on my judgment. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
make
I
my
get you.
judgments, I don't act on it. I'm like, man, fuck them fools, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'm only telling myself, like, yeah, I ain't gonna believe this fool's bullshit, you
Yeah.
know? because that's my judgment. But that's my own shit. You know, I'm not out here. I can attack all these Nahuatl speakers out there and be like, how can you prove to me that that's the proper prefixes that you're using in your language is the proper prefixes? Because I can pull up 1500s literature that specifies that it's this and not that prefix that you're using. And I can go very deep. At least I got historical documents, artifacts, right? And the person over the fucking mountain that doesn't know jack shit about their language that they speak, they can't tell me the history how that prefix got into their language.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
like I could do all that shit, dog.
Yeah,
I could do that, but I'm like, what am I gonna do that for? I'm gonna become like I'm gonna become the same motherfuckers that were attacking me in my beginning of my journey. I'm gonna become like that.
Yeah,
So
you
why am
do
I
get a
gonna
lot of that, bro. And yeah, we're not in support of that. I even made a comment right there. I'm like, people just started going in on the topic, and I'm like, God damn, we didn't make it to attack. I think obviously people are gonna have their own sides on that shit, but it's
everybody's different, bro. You know, they're always
of course,
it's always two sides, bro.
But I mean, would you rather be live blind, fool, or would you rather see the truth?
But at the same time, it's like to be honest, like you're coming from your own truth too, and like it's like you say, if you want to impose that on other people, it has to be, it's like people have to see it for themselves and come to their own understanding.
I see it in a manner of unjustly stuff, dog.
Yeah,
I'm just like all of everybody, dog. I was a kid, I was a baby, fool. I was born into this world.
Yeah,
I didn't make this fucking world, like how Tupac fucking said it, dog. You know what I mean? Like I didn't make this fucking world, dog. I didn't know about. In my household, fool, we're low income, G. And to me, I thought the whole world lived like that. That's the ignorant side of me, bro. The ignorante side of me. Why did I not want to stay ignorant, dog?
That's interesting.
Why didn't I want to stay ignorant, fool? And then my life experiences, dealing with colorism, discrimination, all kinds of shit, racism, you know, all of that. And then not only that, seeing the fucking news, people that look or resemble me are being fucking captured and taken to a detention center, dog. I don't see fucking white Mexicans experiencing that, dog. I don't see that shit. There might be a grain of salt or some shit, maybe. But they're getting people like myself. Shit, they so much getting people. They're even getting indigenous Americans from the United States just because they resemble so-called Mexican.
Yeah.
And so what does that tell me, bro? I was born into this world just like you. But I think that's unjustly, dude. I think that's injusticia. And then for the privileged fool to be like, whoa, somos unidos. How the fuck are we gonna be unidos when I'm the one being captured, fool? And you're the ones get to watch me get captured for being brown. And you get to be a bystander as a white passing Mexican watching all this shit. Watching your so-called people, your Raza según. We may come from the same country, but our struggle ain't the same. It has never been the same.
Yeah.
So how the fuck am I gonna accept you as my people when I know for a damn sure you're not struggling like my people? Yeah. And that's para mí, eso más es importante, dog. Para mí, es más importante esa madre que estar to be liked by some motherfucker that never experienced shit like my people does, dog. Because I appreciate I appreciate my family's history, fool. I appreciate where they come from, the struggle they stood up for. And I'll be down, homie, if I become like, that was them. That was them. Nah, fuck that. It's my life and duty to fucking stand up for them, dude.
Yeah.
It's my life and duty. And if people don't see my passion and love for that, it's because they never experienced the shit that I experienced, dog.
Yeah, that's what I realized the first episode that I heard that we talked. I hear that passion. I hear the pain,
bro. Okay.
I hear that pain. I hear the passion, and that's what I hear when I listen to you. That's why, like I said, bro, I always bring it back to like, we're gonna disagree because I know where you're coming from, and you said it yourself. You're coming from a place of wanting to be heard, and wanting people understanding the history and understanding the people that were never heard, people were erased. So I
Of course,
understand
'cause it's
that.
still going on, dog.
Yeah, and it's still going on.
It's
I
before
understand
my
that it.
time, bro. It's
And I
before
hear
my
that, and
time,
I hear that. I hear
and
that
it's still
pain in
gonna
your
be going
voice.
on. It's still gonna be going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You know,
still it's never gonna it's
I'm gonna
never
bring
gonna
up fucking
stop.
Tupac, dog. I'm gonna bring up Tupac, and it's a little bit modern, but when Tupac was alive, there was police brutality happening. You know, and I'm pretty sure police brutality was happening way before Tupac was even born. Tupac has been deceased for quite a while now, and police brutality is still going on.
Yep. I guess you're right. But yeah, man. All I can say is that I hear you. I hear your message, and I know that where it's coming from, and I know it's coming from a place of passion and understanding
Realness,
history.
bro.
Yeah,
It's just realness,
understanding.
dog.
Yeah, it's passion.
Yeah.
It's you're passionate about it. You want people to be heard. You want to be heard, and that's what we're here for, bro. That's what we're here for on the podcast to talk about this shit.
To
Y
open
te voy a decir una
people's
cosa. I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you this real quick, dog. I see a lot of light skinned and white passing indigenous people out there, dog. And those ones are the ones that have like a lo pendejo, way followers. You know,
Uh-huh.
try to look for motherfuckers like me, and you know,
Yeah.
we ain't up there, dog. We never we. I mean, I have a following, fool. Yeah, of course. You know, but it's a lot of
You're
people
up
that
there,
just
bro. You
kinda,
got all these taboo and homie.
Yeah.
You got all these
Yeah,
people
you're
following
up
you.
there,
You're
bro.
up there,
Yeah.
bro. You ain't in the bottom. And I think that's another thing I want to bring up, bro, because we bring up in this podcast, we talk about it being from majority Mexican American city, first generation. Most people I grew up around, they didn't speak English until first grade. So what I'm saying
my
is,
first language was fucking campesino Spanish, fool.
yeah.
Haz de la
Well,
chingada,
all
güey.
first generation shit. So that's what I'm saying is like I saw firsthand. That's why I speak on media. I speak on this conspiracy stuff, not because I'm trying to be like a tinfoil hat, but because I see when that mind virus latches on to a young Mexican person, and the mind virus is the materialism. The mind virus is the status. The mind virus is the colorism. And so when I hear you speak, I hear I see the mind virus. I hear you in your words. I hear in the not I don't want to I'm not trying to offend you, but I hear in the obsession with the status and the color. It's like that's what is ingrained when we're kids, bro. And that's why like I'm trying to all our messages trying to expose this shit and because a lot of people here, bro, we're 10 miles from the beach right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people here, they don't go to the beach because they feel like they don't belong. And it's like, that's a mind virus. That's a cage that was put on your head when you were
Yeah, I know what you're
5.
saying, bro. I know what you're speaking of, bro. Like if sometimes I get attacked by motherfuckers be like, "Oh, you have a victim mentality."
No, it's not, I'm not saying
No,
you
no,
do. I'm
no.
saying
I'm not
it's
saying that is what
programmed.
you're playing, but I know that most people use it in that manner. Like for me, I don't believe I have a victim mentality.
No, it's not
If
that.
you were
No.
to come at me of the things that I'm complaining about, I'll show you my victim mentality, my G. You know, I'm not.
I'm not saying it's a
That's
victim
just
mentality.
that's my mentality though. That's my mentality.
Mm.
You know, I speak what I feel like it's overseen all the fucking time. It's overseen over time, bro. That's all it is. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, I hear
You
it.
know,
I hear it. I
and
hear
just because somebody's saying, "Oh, you're having a victim mentality," that's coming from a fucking place of privilege.
They say that to us. They say we had the victim mentality because
Yeah,
we talk
yeah.
about how this shit works. And
That's what I'm saying. For the motherfucker that says, "Oh, you have a victim mentality," that comes from that's being said for somebody that comes from a place of privilege. That's all it is, dog. That's all I'm really saying. They're just pointing themselves out to know that they ain't gone through shit, or they're too fucking stupid to see what's going on. You know, and the manipulation and all of that.
yeah, so we're
Come
all
on, dog. Even
yeah.
the city councils, bro, and all these services, they all put all the Mexicans together, dog. They all put all the black people together. They put all the
They
Asians together.
redlining all that shit.
You know, they're putting, so to say, neighborhood territories, and then cuando ya tienen the money to gentrify the neighborhood, they're kicking out the original not the original, but the ones that been there the longest, I guess, so to say, and those communities get fucking torn away, and then they have to migrate to another neighborhood, and it's like all over again.
Yeah.
The whole system. So that's the system. And am I being a victim of manipulation of that? Yeah, to some extent I am. And I'm not, and just because just because somebody chooses not to speak about it doesn't mean it's not fucking true. It's not happening.
It's
not,
true.
you know what
I
I mean?
agree. It's true, bro. Yeah, I think it is true. And I just seen it with my own family too, my own cousins. Like I remember I have a cousin that's locked up right now in Oregon, but this dude used to live with me right here, and ever since he turned 13, I'm about like 7 years older than him. Since he
Yeah.
turned 13, this fool watched Blood In, Blood Out once, and this fool turned into the biggest gangbanger ever, fool. So I'm like, bro, at that age, when he watched that shit, he made the choice to become that, and there's nothing you could do. And I would repeat it to himself, like, bro, just watch what happens to you. Like, anytime you're doing something wrong in life, you always have to remember there's always gonna be somebody telling you what to do right. You just ignore them, you know? And I think that's what happened with him. And I mean, a few years later, this dude in and out, and even to getting kicked out of the house and all this, ended up in Oregon and found trouble up there. Everywhere you go, if you look for trouble, you'll find it, bro. So this
for sure.
This is what I'm saying.
I don't know your relative, dog. You know, I don't know your relative, but being a part of that life myself, I was smart enough to realize the bullshit that I was involved in, right?
Big time. Yeah.
And even within my own neighborhood, there's people that I don't trust, dog. And then we from the same neighborhood. We of the same people, disque. And I don't trust these people, dog. You know? And I I don't know your relative, dog. I don't know your primo like that, but if I had to say, maybe who knows why he made decisions that he did. And maybe sometimes when you have made so many wrong decisions in your life, you feel like this is all I'm good for. So it's like, why the fuck even try?
Yeah.
You know, to try to better myself. Or I fall into this rabbit hole too deep. I dug myself too deep that I can't even get out of this, this lifestyle.
I think
But
you're right.
those are real shit. Those are real experiences, bro. Like fools that go in they get locked up, and they're for a long stretch. They're used to that environment. So once they get out in the real world, they're like, oh shit, like fools get panic attacks, dog. Or they go back to a pueblo or a city. They go back to a city. They be like, where the fuck is such and such location? It's not here anymore. It's like bro. I went to the hospital like a couple months ago, dog, and when I seen my city where I was birthed and where I grew up and where I was at, where I stopped around or whatever, walked around, bro, I saw a lot of change, bro. And because I'm always home, you know, a shit fuck ton change. I felt like my city, it obviously moved on without me, but it felt like, you know what I mean? Like it fucking hurt a little bit, dog. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are my stomping grounds, and I can't even recognize this shit no more. That shit hurts, fool.
Yeah, and that's why we like talking about these topics too, because we like opening, and we have this podcast for that reason. So, for anybody that's struggling with whatever they want to struggle with, or whatever they're struggling in life, and if this channel, this YouTube channel, Instagram, and all this shit that we do helps them for a bit, that's what we like to give this message out. And like we said, you can always disagree, and the beautiful thing is, you guys pick your own brains and see where they're coming from, and that's the unique part of life that you give. I guess someone your gift basically, even though they might not agree with it, but there's a full good debate on what picking your brain basically. So actually, that's why we like talking about stuff like this, so people don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
and
that's a fact.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, we gotta end it off, bro. We're baking in this goddamn room. It's hot as fuck in this shit.
I got some people over right now, dog.
Oh, for sure.
It's been an hour. Nice. I'm gonna be gone for an hour. I'll be back.
But this was a good one, man. It was good, and I'm glad that we got lively too, bro. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's almost an hour and 50 minutes. So. An hour and 45 minutes. So
vamos a agregar otros 10, güey.
Yeah. Well, anytime, bro.
You want a last topic, or you?
So I think that's good enough. It's getting pretty hot, but yeah, bro. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
and,
thank you for joining us, bro.
Having us, motherfucker, you having me, fool. Like I joined y'all, dog.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, but
I'm happy you guys liked interacting with me, dog. And I kind of tend to enjoy it. I try to fuck with people, fool. I look for community too, dude. Like I was with, I did like 3 or 4 with some dude named Chicano too.
Yeah.
I've joined Marvelous, like
Norby's, shout out to Norby's.
También Roberto, and I don't know, dog. I think it's just me trying to connect with folks, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we're here to.
'Cause I try to learn shit from people, dog. You know what I mean?
We're out here to, try to educate people and
just spread
just
different type of messages, spread ideas.
Yeah, spread good message and whatever they're going through, and hopefully that helps them out. But yeah, well, thank you for having us. Foo-ology podcast. We're out. Peace.
Later.
All right, bro.
Hey,
yeah,
shout out to you, bro. We're over here like, bro, this hot as fucking. It's probably like 85 degrees in this.
Foo-ology podcast, support independent media. Link is in the bio. Here it is. Foo-ology podcast. Peace.